The following podcast is a mass media production.
Hi, I'm Josh Galindo.
And I'm Krystal Galindo. Welcome to the Going Galindo Rugrats and Renovations podcast.
A lifestyle podcast where we will offer our experience and expertise in building real, lasting wealth through renovating and flipping homes.
And the chaos that comes with balancing a family of 6, leaving nothing unsaid.
Follow our wild ride we call life and apply our lessons to your own journey.
Welcome to Going Galindo Rugrats and Renovations podcast. This is season 3. On this episode, what are we going to talk about today, babe?
Today we're going to talk about what has served me so well and I believe has carried me to becoming a multimillionaire. There's 5 things that I believe in that I do on a daily basis that I live my life by that have absolutely made me who I am and put me in a position to be a millionaire.
And this is real life. These are like the things that you've actually done. You can read all the books, you can do all the self-help programs, you can go to all the seminars, but none of them are going to be real life examples. This is how you live your life, and this is how you become successful.
You're right. And when I say real life, sometimes what these speakers are, these books are, is they're just explaining things that you should be embracing to accomplish your goals. But what I find to be valuable is when the person that has accomplished their goals recites what they used to do it. There's a level of authenticity that comes with hearing a person say what helped them. I think there's a ton of stuff out there. These are the things that have helped me. Right. So stay tuned and we'll get into them.
Yes.
Adulting is hard. You know what shouldn't be hard? Buying a house. Robert Coomer is a stand-up guy that does what he says he's going to do. He's helped us and our friends buy and refinance houses for the past 15 years or so. Every time we know we're getting the best service possible and the person on the other end of that phone call has a smile on their face. And that leaves a smile on ours. So call Robert Coomer. He does all the heavy lifting for you so you can worry about the more important things. Like what kind of wine pairs well with leftover pizza? Seriously, give him and his team a call at 702-850-2000. You won't regret it.
I would love to share with everybody what it took for me to become a millionaire.
Okay.
I hate saying that. It sounds so cheesy. The word millionaire.
I know. I don't like that.
It just sounds so ugh. But it's what it is.
But it's what it's wrapped in being a millionaire. It's successful.
A fact. It means that I have more than 1 million. So now I'm a millionaire. All right, so let's talk. No,
actually, I have 1 million.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, we have definitely more than that.
Okay.
But, so first and foremost, a prenuptial agreement.
Shut the fuck up.
Just kidding, because that is one way to lose a lot of millions. No, I'm just kidding.
I would have came on with debt if I signed him a prenuptial agreement.
No, yeah, that's right. If she'd have signed that right away, that would have been ugly. No, but here's a fun thing. I'll share something personal with you. Okay. We don't have a prenup.
No, we do not.
No. Do you know why?
Because you didn't have anything.
No,
I'm just kidding.
All right, so let's talk about the characteristics that go into becoming a millionaire. So first of all, you got to have a relationship with your money. Mm-hmm. Easy to say, right? Have a relationship with your money. Well, what does that mean?
You need to describe that more because I think you could really send that one home.
I think, so I'll tell you where I first read this. Kind of a funny story. I'm sitting out front of Nora's Cuisine. Uh-huh. I'm a busser. Mm-hmm. At the best, I was making $40 to $60 a night bussing. I was making $5.15 an hour. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting outside. I'm reading an article. I don't know. Maybe it was a paper article. I don't remember where it was. Maybe it was a book. I don't know what it was. But it was some piece of educational information. And it starts describing why it's so important to have a relationship with your money. When you have a relationship with anything, when you build, you're adding value to that thing. Okay. That's like, let's define relationship first.
Yeah.
So relationship is you invest in it. You hope that there's a return on the investment. You care about it. You hope that they care about you. There's emotional ties to the thing.
Right. You would do what you have to keep it.
Yeah. There's emotion attached to whatever the object is.
Yes.
So when it comes to money, the reason I say build a relationship with it is because if it leaves,
it's uncomfortable.
You should experience pain. Mm-hmm. So when I was sitting on that bench, I'm reading this article, and it says, what does it mean to build a relationship with your money? And what I remember reading was that they started using the lottery winners as an example. And you can use a lottery winner. You can use any scenario where a large chunk of money comes into somebody's life. So whatever it is, I don't want to just chalk it up as the lottery winners.
Right.
Because lottery winners are like 50 million bucks, 10 million bucks, whatever the number is. But it can happen at any stage in your life where you get 10,000. Whatever your comfort zone is, if you exceed that by receiving money, so if you're used to having $5,000 in the bank and you get 10, this scenario will apply to you.
Okay.
Having the relationship, what does that mean? People get comfortable with a certain amount of money in their bank, right? So if it exceeds that, you've now taken that person out of their comfort zone.
Right.
What do people do when they leave their comfort zone? They strive to go back
To their comfort
zone. So when you're out of it, it's uncomfortable. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to get comfortable again. So you literally will manifest things into your life to put you back into your comfort zone. So the biggest advice that I can give when it comes to receiving a large chunk of money, I think this is important to say, it's not real specific to the millionaire thing. If you receive any large chunk of money, any amount of money that makes you uncomfortable, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, let the money sit in your bank account for 6 months. And then what happens is you become comfortable with that amount of money. Now it will become uncomfortable to have it leave you.
Right.
So the opposite happens most of the time. These guys get a big insurance settlement. They get an inheritance. They make a bunch of money. They're so uncomfortable. They start saying, how do I get rid of this money? How do I get away from it? Because I'm just so uncomfortable having it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to let it season. Let it sit there. Then that way, when it starts to leave, you're going to go, holy shit, that's uncomfortable.
Right.
I want to stop that. That's not comfortable. I want to keep that money. So building a relationship with it is so important. You know, these people that aren't passionate about money or don't care about money, that's what a relationship is. It's having passion. It's having care.
Yeah.
It's having emotion surrounding it. You know, so first and foremost, you have to have a relationship with your money. You have to love it. You have to know that you and it are one. Like, I literally feel like if I lost all of my money, a big part of my identity would be gone.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be.
Oh my God, that sounds so bad. He's so hooked onto the money thing. You know, all this fucking bullshit. Okay, that's fine. If you want to go live in a fucking hut in the jungle, have at it. I don't. In order to live the life that I want, that is a tool that I need to do it. In order to live the life that I want, that is a tool that I need to do it. So for me, if money leaves, it hurts. And when I get a big chunk of money, I still catch myself becoming uncomfortable. I feel a little looser, feel like I want to spend a little bit.
Yeah.
I know what's really happening. What's really happening is I became uncomfortable. So I have to actually consciously stop myself and say, how do I build a relationship with this new batch of money so that I protect it like I protect my old batch of money? And the other thing that's interesting about money is if you get too much of it, too much cash in the bank at any moment, it's easy to become comfortable and think I've made it.
Right.
Or think I don't need to go and find more of it. One of the best things that I think we did subconsciously is every time that we would save $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, we would immediately deploy it into another rental. So we were always living like we were broke.
Yes.
So save, deploy. Save, deploy. The least motivated I've ever been in my entire life, as wild as this sounds, is the day I hit 30 rentals. The reason is because I knew that we were financially set, that we didn't have to work. The rental income that came in exceeded
our bills.
And I was like, fuck, I made it.
Yeah, you hit your goal.
I hit my goal. What I was, first and foremost, I identified what my mind was doing. That's the most important thing, is being super conscious and aware of what you're thinking. I was like, why am I feeling this way? I know, while it's comfortable, I know that this isn't going to serve me well. I was like, what do I do to get uncomfortable again and get back into a space where there's challenge and there's growth? And I knew I had to set a huge goal.
Right.
And I swear to you, I woke up, I said, I'm going to buy the building. To buy this building, I had to put $1 million together. Think about that for a moment. It's easy to say, right? Got to put $1 million together.
Yeah.
That was really easy to say. Actually putting $1 million together is very difficult to do.
Yes.
For me. Maybe not for a multimillionaire, who knows? But I suspect it's a tall task for anybody.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a challenge. I knew it would require me to go back to my core rules and my basics, and that is freak saver.
I was going to say
Save. Work harder. Make more money. You know, the other thing that I think is big, and there's going to be a lot of segues, and you have to keep me on track here, but people think they can save their way to wealth, right?
Right.
So they'll go, I make $5,000 a month. I need to save $2,000 a month so that I can meet my financial goals. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the consequence of that is that you're going to live a depressed life.
Right.
Not depressed emotionally, but a reduced life. There's not you can experience more life with more money. Mm-hmm. So that's one way to get there, or you can just make more money.
Yeah.
People think, well, how do I do that? You just do it. But instead of saying I'm going to save my way to wealth, say I'm going to make more money.
Right.
I'm going to make more money. People go, how are you going to save $1 million? I looked at everybody in the room and I go, I'm just going to make more money. I'm going to make more this year. So I already have a formula. We talked about that in the last episode. A formula on how to make money. My skill is the ability to buy property cheap, improve it, sell it, make a profit. So I said, how am I going to save $1 million? I'm just going to do more of those.
Yep.
Well, what does that require? It requires sacrifice. It required dedication. It required more focus. Mm-hmm. It required time investment. So that kind of leads me to my next thing. But before I go to the next thing, I don't want to neglect what I just said. So getting a lot of money can make you feel lazy. It can calm you down and make you feel safe.
Yeah.
All of those feelings are great, but technically they're temporary, because if you're living off of the savings, you're just eating away at your nest egg.
Right. And eventually it'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. And then people get remotivated again, and they get out there and they work and they go and save a bunch of money.
So why don't you do that while you have the money in the bank so you make your money grow?
Exactly. So keep deploying that capital. Never just sit on it. Get it out. But don't get it out on non-appreciating or cash flowing things. You know, like I wanted to wear a Rolex. I wanted to wear a nice watch. Mm-hmm. Okay. That watch cost me in 2017 $11,750. Mm-hmm. That watch today
is worth how much?
$26,000.
Can we sell it?
No. I'll die with this watch on. And hopefully in a lot of years, knock on wood.
Yeah, not soon.
But so I splurged, but I splurged on the right thing.
Right.
Okay, people look at me and go, why is this guy wearing a $2,500 Louis Vuitton backpack? Well, do you remember what we paid for my Louis Vuitton satchel?
Wasn't it $950?
That satchel that I bought in 2011 was $950. Do you know what that thing goes for today?
I don't.
It's like $2,400 to buy that same satchel.
Okay, that we should really sell.
I know, I think about it all the time because I don't use it. But so if you're going to splurge, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you splurge on assets that appreciate. The other thing is you go and buy a JanSport, right?
Yes.
$150. If that thing's going to last 10 years, it's not going to last 10 years. But if you need a backpack over 10 years, every 3 years you got to buy a new JanSport. And the second that you buy it, it's literally worth nothing.
Right.
It's worth zero. You couldn't sell that to anybody.
Right.
But my backpack, I will be able to sell for the next 10 years at any price that I want, or very close. Probably the next 5 years, I'll definitely be able to get back what I bought it for or more. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so that for me, splurging is okay as long as it's on an asset that is either going to hold its value or appreciate. Have a relationship with your money.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing that I super value is habits, habitual.
What does that mean?
What does habits mean?
Yeah.
Is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Good habits.
Yeah.
Because you can have bad habits.
There's bad habits.
There
like
are
that
bad
too.
habits. If you have bad habits, you obviously need to shift. And what does shifting do? It makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
And when you're uncomfortable, that's the only way you grow. What I preach a lot to the people around me, because I make a lot of people around me uncomfortable that are in my working environment.
Yes.
Not my personal world. That's not my MO. But I do make people around me uncomfortable in my working environment. Mm-hmm. The only reason that those people are uncomfortable is because I'm pushing them out of their comfort zone. Right. If I'm pushing them out of their comfort zone, I always have pure intent behind that effort. So I'm trying to make you a better person. Mm-hmm. And then they look at me, I don't feel right. That didn't feel good. Good. That means you're growing.
Yeah.
You're growing.
Yeah.
So if anything that you do makes you uncomfortable, then you should chalk it up as I'm doing the right thing. It's making me uncomfortable. It's pushing me in a better direction. It's making me a different person than I was 20 minutes ago.
Right.
Being uncomfortable is huge. And that's what was my point was when we got those 30 rentals, I was like, you know what? I got this. I think I'm done. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't even believe I even had that thought.
Yeah, no, that's not even...
So I was like, how do I get uncomfortable? And I said, let's go buy the building. And buying the building was putting $1 million together. Okay. So habitual. I wake up, I go to the gym every day. It's easy to say and it's fun to say. But the reality is there's a lot of days I go to the gym and I'll sit on that couch in the locker room and I'll just watch the TV. I'll have a shake. I'll go walk around the track, or I'll just walk the treadmill for 5, 10, 20 minutes, and I'll leave. And then there's days I go in there and I hit the weights really hard, But for me, to get my day rolling,
your day started, you have to start at the gym.
start at the gym. I walk in the gym, my body just goes into that mode. It allows me to start waking up. It allows me to begin texting. Now my brain's moving. Then we roll into phone calls. I see a few people. I say hi, have small chat. By the time I hit the office, I'm 100%. I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I'm ready to roll. So to me, that was a habit that I created that puts me in the best space to be the best person I could be during the day.
All right, for all you listeners out there that have a wish list of some home renovations or handyman projects that you need help with, now is the time to do it. You have to reach out to Nick. Nick is our contractor that we work with at Galindo Group, and he's very dependable. He's willing to help with a project that's small or large, and he'll move quickly. Don't waste any more time and give Nick a call. If you're in need of some home renovations and tired of waiting, you need to reach him at 480-235-8148. You can also check out his work on Facebook or Instagram at The Real Nick Marietta.
What are some other habits that you do besides going to the gym in the morning?
What are some other habits? See,
That you
this
think would be helpful?
Okay, I think this is going to blend the two things.
Okay.
Because what I'm dying to say, I obsess
You're
over
so
things.
obsessive. You're so obsessive.
So I'm going to say that one of my habits is obsessing over things, which leads me to the other key characteristic to being a millionaire is obsessive focus. When I'm sitting stagnant in a space, let's just say we're driving to Bryan Head. That's a 3-hour drive. I'm not thinking about what kind of shoes I should be buying.
No.
I'm not thinking about what my next watch is. I don't think about what glasses would be cool. I don't think about a relationship that I didn't, service enough. I don't think about what people are thinking about me on social media. I swear to you, the entire time I'm like, okay, so if I have this rental and I buy another rental, how much more money do I need to buy that rental? Right now, what's my net cash flow? How much do I want more than what I've got? What happens when I buy the building? How do I, create more tax shelters? How do I?
You don't have an off.
I don't have an off.
No. It's no matter what we're doing, you're talking about business. We're in the shower. So I was thinking about the building. I'm like, is there any breaks in this? But there's not.
There's not. You're walking proof of witnessing me
Yeah.
be an obsessive human being. So I am wildly obsessed with making money. It's just like a football player.
Yeah.
If that guy wants to go to the NFL, you think he's messing around doing other dumb stuff?
Yeah.
He's obsessed with football. Obsessed. It's the only thing he focuses on. I'm the same way about money. So if you're passionate about money and you say you want to make money, you want to be a millionaire, your actions will prove it.
Yeah, it should be in everything that you do. Every decision that you make is supposed to get you to your end game of more money or whatever you're working for.
Yep. And so I have little fun examples. Like I remember when I was first growing, I walked into Bank of America. This is why being obsessed and having that topic on the top of your mind at all times, that's what being obsessed is. You then can filter every bit of information coming into your world on how you can use it to accomplish your goal, which is what you're obsessing over. Kind of tough to describe that.
Yeah, so give me an example.
Here's an example. I'm obsessed with making money, right?
Okay.
I was so frugal at one point, which leads me into another one of my things, that I was on Warm Springs in Durango. I just bought my first house. I was a bachelor, no girlfriend, no kids, nothing, no roommates. I'd wake up I worked at night at Nora's. I'd wake up. I'd go down to the gas station. I'd grab, a hot dog or something. I'd sit there and eat the hot dog. I would read through all the classifieds and look for opportunities to make money. You know what I started thinking about? I was like, I'll just flip motorcycles. Where is there an abundance of motorcycles? When you have an abundance of something, the demand is lower. California. So I'd always look in California and see if there were motorcycles to be bought. And then I would think maybe I'll buy a motorcycle over there and sell it in Las Vegas. I had another business where I would go down to the swap meet on the east side of town and buy speaker gear, amplifiers, subwoofers, tweeters, the whole nine. And I'd bring it all back up to the west side and I'd sell all the speaker gear to everybody. So I was always obsessed with how to make money. So I'd go to this gas station. I'd steal ketchup and relish and mustard. I'd even take toilet paper because I knew that I didn't have to spend money on those things. Further accomplishing my obsession to make money. Okay, I walk into the bank. They go, we're offering 5% CDs.
Yeah.
And they were non-guaranteed CDs. Excuse me, they were guaranteed CDs with no penalty to renew them.
Okay.
What is a CD? It's a certified deposit, I believe is the term. Certified? Yeah. Anyway, CD is where you commit to giving the bank $10,000. They will commit to giving you
a percent for a certain amount of time.
An interest or a percentage on your money for a certain amount of time. It was an agreement. Most CDs you can't break, and if you do break it, then you lose all of the interest that you were entitled to under the agreement. Well, they were offering this CD, and you could break it and still keep all of your money. So I said, okay, great. So I could get 5% on my money, as shocking as that is. It was actually a real number. They said yes. It was Bank of America. I said, okay, cool. So I go home. I get in the mail an offer on a credit card for $25,000, 0% interest, cash advance, everything.
Wow. Okay.
I pull all the money on that credit card. This is a Bank of America credit card.
Right.
I go to the bank and I deposit the money into a CD. So I took all of their money at 0% interest and I deposited it into Bank of America with their CDs paying me 5%. I took the payment, the amount of it was a 1-year CD. I had to take the payments. I took $25,000, I divided it by 12, and I paid back the credit card while I was earning 5% on their money.
That's pretty smart.
That's some fucking obsessive shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think that that's like, for me, I'd be like, oh, I think that's a lot of work. How much are you really going to get from me?
Well, at the time, there's a difference here. There's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a good statement today because we're in a position where we don't have a lot of time. So now we value the amount of work that we invest into something to make money. But most people, when they don't have a lot of money, they have a lot of time.
Okay.
And when they have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of time. But then the money puts you in a position to be able to buy time. And how do you buy time? Is you pay for people to help you do more stuff in your life so that you get back more time. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, obsessive. You have to be obsessive, okay? And then a freak saver. In the beginning stages, and even today, arguably based on what we make versus what we spend, I would argue that we're definitely still freak savers.
Yeah.
I still worry about, how's the gas so much more money now? Man, that's a lot of money. I do all the math in my mind. I'm like, man, my gas bill went up, $300 this month to put gas in the Raptor. Or, we don't just take the first insurance quote.
Right.
Why was it so high? We question everything.
Yeah.
And that's what's really happening there is that's me proving I have a relationship with that money. Nobody else is entitled to my money other than me. So when you send me a bill and go, it's going to be this much, if you're not scrutinizing that bill,
right,
if you're not questioning that bill, then you don't have a true relationship with your money. You should be asking yourself, can I get it for less? And again, in today's day and age where you and I maybe have a little bit less time and more money, there's value in going, you know what, for the extra $10, I don't need to shop it. But when you're up and coming,
right,
you need to be shopping everything. You should get 3 quotes on everything and take the cheapest quote.
Yeah.
If you get 3 quotes on everything, something else happens. You learn the market.
Then you know.
Then you
really know.
Right.
Yeah, you can't base it off of one quote.
No, you don't have a clue what the market is on that product. So 3 quotes is huge. So freak saver, be frugal. And then educate and invest in yourself. I'm constantly absorbing information. Every day I wake up, I sit in my black chair in my bathroom.
Yeah.
I grab my iPhone. I'm like, just getting started. I go and I check a few websites, msn.com, LVRJ, Las Vegas Review Journal, CNBC, and Vegas Inc. I'm going to explain what they are. I'm going to say it one more time. MSN,
Okay.
MSN.com, Las Vegas Review Journal,
Okay.
CNBC,
Okay.
and VegasInc.com.
Okay.
What am I gathering with all of those? Let's start with MSN. When I go into MSN, it talks about all the social topics of the nation, of the United
Right,
States at the
what's going
moment,
on
sometimes abroad, and I read all of them. Did Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie break up? Even if I see it, it may not be of interest to me, but now I know.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that benefit me? I can talk to anybody that day about social topics and be relevant to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a contributor to the conversation. Now I'm a person of value. Let's assume that I have a conversation with somebody on a social topic. That resolves that lack of information. Now I can talk about anything, anytime during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I go to LVRJ, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Yeah.
That is local news. I could talk about the guy that got into an accident on Rainbow and Tropicana.
Yeah.
I can talk about the COVID outbreaks. I can talk about the hedge fund that just spent $17 billion to buy up all the stuff on the Strip just to collect rent. I am up to speed. I'm a contributor to the conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then it goes to CNBC. I want to know what the Fed's talking about. I want to know what Apple did. I want to know what stock's going up. I want to be aware. I want to be a contributor to a conversation. Mm-hmm. If they're talking about national economic news. Vegas Inc. I want to be up to speed on who just closed the biggest land deal, who just closed the biggest house deal, which local businesses are moving and shaking. I want to be a contributor to a conversation in the event it comes up. I am prepared almost every single day to have a conversation on any topic, nationally or locally, because I read the newspaper every day. That's huge.
Yeah, I think
Educate
that's huge.
and invest in yourself.
Yeah, because how can you make decisions if you don't know what's going on in the world?
You can't. You're flying blind.
Okay, when you say educate, like what does that mean?
So invest in yourself. Educate.
Is that
well,
just like local, or do you mean like classes? Because sometimes people think education just means like, I'm going to take a course. I'm going to...
No, I think the quickest way to becoming intelligent, improving your vocabulary, investing in yourself, all of the above, is to read news articles. If you're reading news articles, one, they're usually using words that you're not comfortable saying.
Right.
So you're improving your vocabulary. That's investing in yourself. The ability to communicate and identify a thought and apply the appropriate word to it is invaluable. So I have a thought. If I have a limited vocabulary, I have to apply a word that may not describe that thought properly.
Right.
That's not benefiting me. If I have an extensive vocabulary and I have a thought and I can apply the appropriate word to that thought, that is benefiting me. That means I'm communicating better. I'm going to get what I want easier. And reading the articles helps me improve my vocabulary. Reading the articles, I'm getting to watch how WeWork founder started the company, put it into the biggest shithole it could have possibly done, went public, put $1.5 billion in his pocket, and resigned. And then left the fucking company to go fend for itself.
Okay.
So where do you get to watch real life awesome scenarios like that? Maybe not awesome, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
And witness that and learn about it. You read an article. You're witnessing the biggest players. You're witnessing transactions from afar just by reading it. So to me, that's investing in myself. Social media. The algorithms in those feeds, in the Instagram feed and the TikTok feed, they are trying to learn what we want so they can give us more of it, so that we stay hooked on it. If you scroll through your feeds and all it is football and sports and baseball and this and that, or all it is cooking and whatever it is, that means that your subconscious they figured it out, so you just own what it is. That means your subconscious is pretty much focused on that.
Yeah.
If you want it to be on making money, you'll know. Go to your social media and scroll through your feed. It's going to give you what you want and what you're craving. You'll know. So for me, when I go on my TikTok, it's talking about how to save money on taxes, how to acquire more real estate, how to properly leverage, how to communicate with people, how to be inspired, how to motivate, how to this. That's what I want.
No accidents.
No accidents.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to obsessive. So I'm just going to recap these five really
I want
quick.
you to recap really the just short little nugs.
I'll go quick. So relationship with money.
Yep.
Huge. Be habitual. Huge. Be obsessive. Obsessive is probably one of the biggest ones.
I feel like that should almost be number one.
I don't disagree. I agree. Obsessive. You have to be obsessive. Okay. Freak saver. Protect that money like you have a relationship with it. Protect it like you protect your animals, your children, your wives, your mother. Those are all things that you have relationships with. Protect it. So what does protecting it mean? Preserving it. By preserving it, that means you need to be a freak saver. Be frugal. Hold on to it. I work too hard to give my money away. Educate yourself. Get educated on current topics so that you can be a contributor to a conversation. When you're a contributor to a conversation, people want to be around you. If they want to be around you, they're probably going to add value to you.
Right.
They're going to go, hey, this is what I do. If you're a one-track mind, you start talking shop over here, and all you want to talk about is Jennifer Lopez and
Real Housewives.
If that other person's just business oriented, there may not be a bond there, and now you miss an opportunity to talk business with that person. If you're up to speed on everything, then you'll be able to build a bond. I remember, I'll give you a real life example. Our neighbors across the street at White's Landing. The gentleman was an executive at Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway owns the gas company here in town. As crazy as that is.
Okay.
That was probably one of the most sophisticated people I'd ever sat in front of and talked. We went to their house and had dinner. I was so proud of myself when I left that I was able to adequately talk shop on any topic with an executive at Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
That's Warren Buffett's company. I was like, wow, good for me. And that was because I stay up to speed and I educate myself.
That probably solidified it for you, right?
Yeah.
To where you can do it more.
Yeah. So to me, those are the main things that you got to have.
Okay.
Those are what worked for me. There's 50, 100, 500 other characteristics that build the mindset of a millionaire. But for me, those are the things that have served me very well. And if I can share those with the audience, that's what my point is here.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed the show, please rate, subscribe, and share our podcast. You can also connect with us on social media or at galindogrouprealestate.com.
Until next time, thanks again for listening.